The U.S. is heading for a so-called childcare cliff as key pandemic emergency relief funds expire tomorrow, and that could leave as many as 70,000 daycare centers at risk of closing. That's according to think tank the Century Foundation, and it means more than 3 million children could lose their spots if that happened. But according to my next guest, this is just the compounded trilemma of issues the industry was already facing around access, affordability, and quality. Joining me now is Stephen Kramer. He's the CEO of Bright Horizons, along with our senior economics reporter, Steve Leisman, who's here to talk about the effects on the economy. Welcome to both of you. Stephen Kramer, kick us off here. So what exactly sunsets tomorrow?
So the ARPA funding that has been a very valuable source of support for the childcare industry is coming to an end. At Bright Horizons, we have always planned for this to end, and really the focus of our work is gaining support from employers. And so employers have always provided valuable support to make sure that their employees had good access to high-quality, affordable childcare. That said, many providers have relied very heavily on this support as well as other government funds. And so we do expect that there's going to be real challenge in the industry. But remember, childcare providers, including us, are very focused on taking care of children and families and making sure that they take care of their staff as well. And so we'll work tirelessly through what is a difficult period. But ultimately, this is going to end up for most providers needing to get shouldered by working parents who already are stressed by the tuitions that are charged, and additional fees are likely to be levied, which will be really difficult for employees to continue to work.
Before I bring in Steve Leisman on that, just give me a sense. So on average, childcare costs $15,000 a year. There's some headlines lately about how it's approaching or exceeding the cost of college. How much difference specifically to a family's cost are these pandemic programs making?
Yeah, so for some providers, it's quite significant. And so they may be in a position of having to increase tuitions by as much as 10, 15% to hardworking families. As I mentioned at Bright Horizons, we've been planning for this. Our employer clients are very supportive of their working parents. But in the general communities, I think there is going to be a lot of challenge and placement of this back on families.
Yeah, so Steve Leisman, I think there's a great quote from one of the news pieces on it that says, "This profession makes all other professions possible." So, and it comes at a time when we're also going to see pressure on some younger families from restarting their student loan payments and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, this is from the page of Cutting Off Your Nose to Spite Your Face. Kelly, I'm here at the Latitude Conference, where one of the focuses is on the Latino population community's contribution to GDP. And I bring that up because one of the great sources of labor and labor growth in this country has been the Latino community. One of the things that another source has been childcare and the addition of women back into the workforce. If you look at that female participation rate, we actually are at 25-year highs. What makes that possible? Well, it has been a bit of a rebound, not a total rebound, in child care workers. So that participation rate, how have we run these strong job numbers? We've run them because more people have come into the workforce. You don't actually put zombies to work. You can't put ghosts to work. You put people to work. And one of the ways people come to work is they come to work by having childcare at home, however they get it. And the concern here is if you have an increase in the cost of childcare, well, this great progress we've made, both in being able to run essentially an economy with low inflation or lower inflation and high and low unemployment, it may go away or it may be challenged if we lose some of this contribution, especially of females of working age, into the workforce.
What would you add, Stephen Kramer? And I would say investors still have bid up your shares 28% this year, so they don't seem too concerned. Or maybe they think you benefit and grow market share.
Yeah, look, the pandemic has certainly taught our society, our government, employers, as well as working parents, what an essential service childcare really is. And so, as Steve just mentioned, this is the essential service that allows working parents to go to work. And it also, by the way, is the foundation of creating the workforce of the future, our young children. And so I think it is critically important to recognize that the persistence of strong access to high quality and affordable childcare is at the very foundation of the strong economy.